Hey guys, studiodesignz here with a new tutorial. This one's going to be photo manipulation, uh, more exactly something like the one you see in the background here, which is a 3D text. You can use a simple text, so 3D looks really more interesting. 3D text covered with green grass and stuff, like small animals making the world look huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep everything ready. What you'll really need is Photoshop and these stock photos, something like leaves and stuff. I'll provide this in the description if you guys like it, or you can get them mostly in searching up in Google or maybe some GFX packs. Okay, and I'll be creating the text in Cinema 4D, so I hope you're familiar with this. If you're not, I'll just show you how to create a basic simple 3D text. So let's get started and open up Cinema 4D. I'm going to create a simple text. So first of all, I'm going to just save this file and I'm going to keep it in my the store. Okay, so come over to more graph and select more text. Once you have the text in your perspective view, I'm going to use the word green, and I'm going to type it like GR, make them all in caps, EE, and I'm going to make a big N, so something like that. Just adjust this in place. I'm going to get them close to each other, so I'm going to reduce the vertical height spacing. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to type these individually, since the N is going to be a bit bigger. So I'm going to change the font for this. It's going to be something real thick and boxy type. That's too thick. Okay, maybe this will do. It's perfect. Okay, I'm going to just adjust this. Alright, something like that. I think I'll just take this a bit up so we have the base for the N. I'm going to make a copy of this, so hold on your control key and just drag and drop. I'm going to change this to N, and I'm going to lower this right down. This one's going to be a bit bigger, so I think I'm going to reduce this to 150 centimeters. Make this, I think, 150, maybe 40 will do. And I'm going to take this down. I'm going to adjust this right in the center. I'm going to increase this to 250 just so that it fits in with these texts here. Doesn't really matter since it's just a tutorial I'm creating, so I'm not going to be very perfect here. Okay, that's something. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these both. So I'm going to select, hold shift and select both, Alt G to group them. I'm just going to type in green. Oops, it's fine. Okay, then I'm going to just center this right in between. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a bit more depth to it. So I'm going to add, I think, 40 to both. You could add caps, so I'm going to add a tiny, not real thick, just 2 centimeters will do. Just have the shine look there. Do that to the end too. Select cap 2222. Okay, so let's render this and have a look. It's having a bit of a shine on the edges there. Okay, makes it look a little bit smoother. The R is kind of out of space here, so really adjust that by separating the GR from the EE. And let's do that. I'm going to make another copy and I'm going to make this just EE, and I'm going to remove the E from this one. I'm going to take this down Okay, I'm gonna adjust this GR just exactly in, with view in the other angles too, just to see how perfect it is. And I'm gonna lower this horizontal spacing a bit. Right. Okay, it doesn't really have to be perfect since I said it's just a tutorial. Okay, just going to show you guys the basic idea how I really did that. Okay, once it's done, we'll save this, and I'm going to add a Lightroom, so it just looks really plain. I have a couple of already Lightrooms here. Just going to import them in and see which one looks perfect in this. So I think this one might look okay. Just going to remove this and adjust, and let's take a look at it. Make sure you keep it kind of a straight so that it's easily imported into Photoshop, then in a different angle, something like this would do. So just that you have a couple of 3D edges here. Okay, I think this needs global illumination, so I'm going to add in global illumination, and let's check this out how it looks. Yep, it looks kind of okay. I think I'm going to add some material to this text. Looks kind of too plain. Just going to add this. Let's see what we have here. Yep, it's got nice shadows and stuff, but still I really need this to be white. I think I'm going to create a new material, and I'm going to make this like 250 approximately, kind of really white. And I'm going to add him to all of the texts. Now let's see what we have here. It's kind of same. Okay, let's check this now. You could really adjust it to your taste, Okay, and once it's done, I'm going to remove all these walls here. So I'm going to set a camera for this. Okay, and I'm going to remove all these borders and wall stuff. So I think it's this one, right? It's just the walls and the floor. So I have a transparent text. I really don't want a background imported in Photoshop. I'm going to increase the size output to 720, and let's adjust this camera. Okay, once it's done, I'm going to export this. So come back to settings, and I'm going to come to save. Make sure you have alpha checked in. I'm going to keep this as a PNG, and let's save this. Oops, that's here. I'm going to call this green. Okay, make sure you have alpha checked in. That makes it transparent, and PNG too. Okay, now let's render this. It renders it quite fast since it doesn't have any walls and background color here, just does the text. Let's see when it's done. Okay, it's done. Fine. I think there's a lot of dark shadows there which we need to get rid of. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reduce these shadows here for these lights. Our lights are, I think, right here. Right, I think I'm gonna just reduce this from here. Actually, I think I'm going to change this Lightroom here. So let's import another, a much clearer one which doesn't cast shadows. Great. Okay, just going to drag this guy right in, delete the replace me, so a bit back. Okay, and make sure you remove the walls. So take off the room. Right, Okay. Right. Now let's see what we have here. The basic idea is just to have your text really clear and not totally white. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this and this. Okay, let's see what we have here. Yeah, great, that's come totally white. Okay, I'm gonna just change this to maybe 200. Let's see what we have. Okay, that's perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, let's just adjust this angle straight, zoom a bit back, and let's export this. Yes, we want to replace. Once it's done, till it's done, I'm just going to create a new document here, and that's going to be 19201200. I'll call this green, and I'm going to just save it. So it's gonna be in the same place. I'll call this green. Okay, once it's done, I think yeah, it's done. Okay, now I'm gonna import this to Photoshop. First of all, let's import it first. Just gonna drag in and drop. Oh, that's what we have. That's perfect. Okay, you could really change the color or anything if you'd like, adding hue saturation or adding some color balances. Alright, okay, now let's bring in a background which we're gonna put this green on. So I have a wallpaper here, and I think I'm gonna use this guy, which is having a Windows icon on it. First we'll take this icon off. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna use the spot healing brush, and hold on your alt, click on anywhere in your background here. Make sure you have replace selected, and make sure it's a soft brush. Okay, totally soft, hardness is up to 0%. Just gonna brush on the logo here. So we have dark edges there, so I'm gonna remove, replace, and I'm just gonna round that so it kind of blends in the whole thing. Alright, so I could just do that in the first place. Okay, once it's done, you could really even just adjust that, brushing it around. Okay, once it's done, I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to hold Control Shift Alt E to make a whole copy of the whole thing here. I'm just going to drag it and drop it in our scene here, bring it right below our text. Just going to place it in place. Alright, once it's in place, now we're going to center this green text here, Control A, and center it up. Okay, so that's what we have now. Cool. And this looks like it's exactly on the grass view from the top, so that's cool. So we can't have really like waterfalls or something, but we could add some small water pond or something like that. Okay, let's take this off. Okay, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna blend this into the area here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new vibrance layer. It's not really needed since it's already not in color. I'm gonna add a color balance, and hold on your alt key and just click in right in between here, so it changes the color just for the green, just for our text here. We're just going to drag this slightly in the right, not totally. Okay, just slight to make it look like it's kind of green and yellowish. Okay, not much, make sure. And next what I'm going to do is zoom back. We're going to create shadows in the end. So according to this, the shadow looks like it's coming right from the top, the sunlight I mean. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch on to our grass, which is right here. I'm going to drag in this grass which we have here. It's like we can change the color to that, so I'm going to drag and drop into our document here. I'm going to size this up real small. Okay, and we're going to make copies of it. So I'm going to just hold on my Alt key, make sure it's right above everything here. Hold on your Alt key and just make a few copies of it. Okay, and just not to have these sharp edges, I'm going to use my masking tool. Make sure you select your brush and it's totally soft again. So I'm going to just brush in this edge here and this edge right here. Great. Okay, this edge right here. Okay, so it's like kind of blending each other. I'm going to select all and Control D to merge them up, so it kind of covers our text, you can see here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just place that in place, and I'm going to Control click on our type here and click on the mask, so it automatically snaps to that. Now what I'm going to do is change the color to match the background here. So I'm going to go to color balance again, make sure you hold down the Alt and click right in between, and I'm going to change the color kind of similar to the one which is behind. Alright, not too much but kind of similar. Okay, now what I'm going to do is the best part. I'm going to click on my brush tool, make sure it's kind of a size you like and totally soft. Okay, right on your mask layer, I'm going to keep on black selected, lower the opacity somewhere to around 40%, and I'm just going to brush in at points where I really don't want. Make sure you're on your mask layer off the grass. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of this and hide it so I have a backup of the original one. Now I'm going to just brush off points where I really don't want the grass, just at some certain points. Okay, once you're done crossing your text, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a group of this. I'm going to call this grass. I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to turn the blending mode to screen. Okay, I'm going to lower the opacity a lot. Once that's done, I'm going to change the first grass layer which is right below to linear burn, and it looks like that. I'm just going to lower the opacity to somewhere maybe around 80-85. Okay, 86 is good, so we have those edges and the shadows there. Alright, next what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this to multiply or something like that, which makes it look a little more darker, and again lower this opacity too. Okay, let's do that back. Alright, I'm going to make another copy, make that to screen and lower that to a really low one. Okay, once that's done, now what we gotta do is let's add a shadow to this green here. I'm going to make a copy of this and use the right below layer, and let's change this to a rasterized layer. Just going to make this a black one, so you could many ways to do that. So I'm just going to add a blend option to make it really black behind. I'm just going to lower this right below a bit and a bit side here. I'm going to add a filter to it, Gaussian blur, and let's add something like maybe 10, let's say 7 I guess, right? And let's lower this opacity to really light one, just a light shadow there. 45 is good. Next what we're going to do is let's add a crack to this. So I've got a texture here which is kind of a white crack. Make sure you take this layer way above everything, and we're going to just align this crack the way you like it. So I'm going to add it right here in the corner, and I'm going to like stretch this, maybe one right in the bottom here. I'm going to flip this totally. Okay, and next let's make the edges here a little smooth. So I'm going to add a mask, and with my brush make sure opacity is to 100, set to black. Just going to brush in this edge here. Let's do the same to this, just brush in the edge. Okay, next what we're going to do to make it look like a crack, so I'm going to just select this and make it to screen, not screen, sorry, just change the blend mode to multiply. Okay, and you could just adjust that somewhere like here. Okay, we can just adjust those edges in a bit. I'm gonna change this to multiply. You can see those cracks there, and it looks like brownie type, like a wooden crack, so I'm gonna fix that too. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make another copy of it, like I guess somewhere around maybe a crack, like it's kind of tilt, not straight crack. The text here, it's just that. Okay, now since you see it's already out of the text row, so I'm going to select all this and I'm going to group it, Control G. I'm going to call this cracks. Now what I'm going to do is hold on Control and click on my type to select our text, so we have our cracks right in it. With the group selected, I'm just going to click on the mask, so it just cracks that. Now to remove this brown cracks, what I'm going to do is we're going to add vibrance to it and just lower that to remove the color. So what I'm going to do is create a new vibrance style. I'm just going to hold on Alt and click right in between two, so that vibrance is just this. Okay, just going to lower this a bit. Right, let's add that just to the crack, stick it in, add it to the crack, and let's make a few copies for each here. Just make sure you have it added to the cracks, not to the text. Since our mask is totally for the text, it kind of reduced the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the vibrance. You can see if you increase the saturation, it kind of glows here. See that? Okay, let's keep the saturation to 0, reduce just the vibrance. Right, I think it's kind of perfect already. Okay, let's zoom back. Okay, you can see those cracks really look kind of realistic. It's like really pressed in crack. Okay, fine. Next what we're gonna do is let's add maybe a stone feel to the text. So I'm going to use one of the textures which looks like a stone type, so I think this one's perfect. Just first of all I'm going to close this and I'm going to bring this right above everything here. Okay, I'm going to lower this a bit, maybe somewhere like here, and I'm going to make another copy. Okay, again let's just brush the edge here to make it smooth, join them, Control E to select. Okay, and Control click on the text. Mr. Spot, let's just load this, Control click and click on the mask. So yeah, that kind of looks like it's since I selected the shadow, it's kind of blurry. Okay, that's cool. Let's change this to, I guess green would be really bright. Let's change this to multiply, just to add a slight stone feel to it. Like, let's do that again. I'm going to remove the mask. I'm going to select the original one. Let's see how it looks here. I'm just changing blending options, so you just do by selecting the shortcuts Shift Alt and select, like S is for screen, O is for opacity, M is for multiply, A is for linear burn. Maybe something that looks suitable to it. A soft light kind of adds some texture to it. I'm just going to lower this size a bit to make it scaled. Maybe another here, and another thing. Just going to add some masking to this, just so that it's not really bright in the edges. Okay, just make sure you have it selected and just off some of the edges here. Alright, I'm going to merge all of them. Control Alt Shift F for soft light, and then I'm just going to select our text, just mask it, so you can see a slight stonish feel to a text here. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to do is let's add maybe a green type of background to it. let's say texture something like a really green feel. Let's maybe this leaf will do. Let's just raise it right above. I think I'll just use one leaf. I'm just going to stretch it, not using it for the branch there, just for the color. Let's see in a moment what I mean. Just going to remove that right in between there, making the opacity to 50, and just remove that right in there. Like I said, just for the color, you could just brush any color to do that. Something like that, just a slight touch. Alright, you could just even select a color and make it green and just brush in over that, just to add some color corrections. Okay, once that's done, next what I'm gonna do is we're gonna add some leaves and stuff, which is the most interesting part. I hope you enjoyed part 1 series, guys. Make sure you check part 2, and it's more interesting, how to add leaves and stuff, and a lot of color corrections, which makes this stand out a lot. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe, guys. I hope you enjoy the video, and take care.